Hey, what's up guys? Adam with A&J Automotive Repair and Fleet Services. Got a 2005 Toyota Tacoma. It's got a heavy vibration on acceleration and deceleration. Got under the truck earlier and verified the problem. Looks like the universal joint's going bad at the transmission area. We're gonna go ahead and pull the driveline out and service it on the workbench. Let's go to the car and kind of get a brief look at what we're gonna do. First thing we're gonna do, take the 4 bolts off here, follow it all the way up. You got your center support bearing here. Take the bolt off on both sides, and then it's going to slip out of the transmission. If you look at the universal joint, it's got back and forth movement, and that joint's pretty bad. It probably lost a bunch of needle bearings and stuff. So we'll go ahead, get the driveline out, get it on the workbench, and then I'll show you guys what to do from there. Hey, what's up guys? I got the driveline on the workbench. We're gonna go ahead and go through this thing and inspect it thoroughly. When I do an inspection, what I wanna do is check the joint here. This is at the differential. And then if you follow it up to the center support bearing, I'm gonna check and make sure the center support bearing is good. Check the universal joint here. And then also we'll move on to the front. And this is the one that's bad. You're gonna see some discoloration right up in here. All the grease has made its way out. The seal's gone. There's a couple needle bearings missing probably. I'm gonna get it apart and then we'll kind of verify. But to get this apart, there's a C-clip here. There's one on the bottom side. There's one on this side, and then there's one on the back side. Take the C-clips out, and then we're gonna get a press, and we're gonna press one direction, and that'll get these cups to come out. Once you get one out, you press in the opposite direction, and then the other cup will come out, and then that's what we're gonna do to get it all the way apart. Then we'll get the new universal joint, and then once we get the new joint, I'll show you how to reinstall it. Alright you guys, so I'm gonna get ready to take this thing apart. First thing I like to do is spray them with WD-40. Go ahead and spray all 4 of them so they can soak up. Alright. The next thing I like to do is check to see if the C-clip will come out. They're usually pretty tight. You'll notice that's tight and it doesn't want to release. Alright. So what I'll do is I'll take a little hammer and hit up against the other side. That's pushing this whole joint down towards the bottom cup. And then I'll come up on top here and hit on this cup to try and push it away from the snap ring. Most of the time the snap ring will come loose. There it goes right there. Alright, so the snap ring's loose. Got the snap ring out. Alright. Go ahead and loosen up the vise. Spin it around. And now I'll hit up against this side. Come up on the back of the cup. This one came out too. Alright, so you'll notice if I keep hammering, right here a little bit, I'll bring this back up so you can see it. This cup is starting to make its way out of here. Alright? You're gonna keep doing that and you'll pull this cup out that way. Once you do that, you'll go back down in the opposite direction, you'll pull that cup out, and that'll enable you to get the universal joint separated from the driveline. And then we'll go ahead and do the same exact thing on both sides of this. And once you do that, then you're ready to put the new one back in. So let me get this thing apart. I'm gonna show you the new U-joint and then all the new clips and then I'll show you how to put it back together. Alright, you guys, you'll notice we got it apart. So the needles in here are all still here, along with the grease seal. The needles in here are still in here. This one's pretty much dried up, and there's still some needles left. But remember that discoloration we were talking about? Look how dry that is. Alright, there's no needles left in it. And then if you look at the cross, you'll notice right here, that's where the bad one was. So no more grease, no more needles. It's even got a slight taper from where it's been grinding away. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get the new universal joint, and we'll install it on the driveline and reinstall it back on the truck. Alright, you guys, I'm getting ready to put this thing back together. Just want to show you a couple of things that I checked before I do that. So here's the new universal joint. You'll notice this one has a Zerk fitting. That means it's serviceable. We can go ahead and grease it later on down the road. It'll help extend the life of the universal joint. Right here is the new C-clips. If you look closely, I don't know if you can see it, but one side is rounded, kind of, from when they press it. Alright, and then the other side is really flat, almost like a knife edge around the edges. That side is the side you want facing you. That will grab on the edge of the yokes, and that'll allow this thing not to slip out. If you put it the other way with the round edge facing you, these can pop out, so be careful. Make sure you guys get that flat edge facing you. Next thing I like to do is I'll take the old one, I'll put it in a vise with a cup on each end, and what I'm doing is I go ahead and I take this new one and I compare it. Alright, so as far as the width, it looks the same. And then the other thing I like to do is take the cup, the old cup, fit it on top, make sure the diameter is the same, and then come across the side, make sure that the height is the same. Alright, so now I know the cups are the same size, the cross is the same size, and this thing's ready to go back together. So let me get it set up, and I'll film it going back together. So the driveline's back in the truck. We verified the fix, no more vibration. The one thing that I want to show you guys real quick is a tool that I use. Some of you might think, okay, well, how do you know if it's at the front near the transmission or the rear near the differential or the axles, if it's a front wheel drive, vice versa. I have this kind of a cool tool that I use. It helps pick up on vibrations if it's not something that you can physically see. It's called a chassis ears, and the way it works is I have these sensors here. You can see them flashing red and blue, okay, and they're clamps, so I can clamp these on to any part of the car. All right, and then what I do is I go to my cell phone, and there's an app right here. I can pick the channel. So red is channel 1. It's connecting, and when it connects to the channel, if I make noises, like right now I'm hitting on the pipe, you can see flat line, picking up on everything that I do. So I can go through each of the channels by color, write it down on a piece of paper. So red at the transmission, green at the rear differential, all right, white at the center support bearing, etc. And then I can flip through the channels and I can look at the frequencies and see where the noise is coming from. And then when I'm done with the fix, I can do the same thing, go back on the truck and verify that that noise is gone. So if you guys ever have a chance to purchase a tool and you want a really cool tool that's really gonna help you out in the field, get a chassis ears. The old one used to come with the headphones and have these long cables that you would tie under the chassis, and then you go ahead and connect them that way. But the new one's all wireless. You put your headphones on your phone and you can listen to it and you're good to go. So another happy customer, truck's fixed. Until the next one, like I said before, if you like these videos, subscribe, hit the like button, and don't forget the notifications bell. All right, peace.